So- Okay, so we're recording now. How are we doing, gentlemen? How are we doing?
Yeah, really good, mate. Ross, have you seen my T-shirt, by the way, just to kick this
There
off?
we go. There was our guy. Classic T-shirt, that.
Dan, if you ask who this is, I'm hanging up.
Well, I can't really see. It looks like Jamie Foxx from afar.
It is
Oh.
70s and 80s pop sensation, Billy Ocean.
Okay,
This
tell
was a gift.
you I'm
This
very
is a
familiar.
This is a gift from Ross. So this is
was
why
it?
when I heard I was doing this with him, then I was like, right, here we go.
Gotta pop it on.
Tribute.
Gotta pop it on. Well, gentlemen,
Yeah,
welcome to the Fitness Burrito Podcast. It's the first official Zoom episode, which is decent. Episode 3. So yeah, how you guys feeling? How's life? How's the whole isolation fucking thing going down?
Growing a beard.
Yeah. How's Sarah feeling about that? She a bit like.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's one of those, isn't it, mate? Like, you just need to. It'll grow on her.
Bitch, you gotta let me do my thing.
Exactly.
Let me do
We'll
my
be
thing.
all right.
Nice.
All right. How are you keeping?
Yeah, not bad, man. I can't grow the beard.
No.
But
We're all just trying to get like Ross.
Q.
what's that?
Q's taking over the internet. He's always on here. Posting.
Try to stay consistent, man.
Posting.
Yeah.
Are you gonna carry on with anything else? Or?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I have. I just posted.
Can I just say I feel honoured that you've invited me on here, given the fact that all your past episodes you just got people who you used to be their boss, and now you've got me.
I had to keep that ratio 50-50. That's why I brought Ross on. I still gotta have some kind of power, you know.
Hashtag stay humble.
Yeah. Hashtag stay home.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So
this is it's a weird time, man.
Yeah, it is, man. You know, I tried to do a few episodes of my own before kind of getting you guys on, not today, but a few days ago, and it just didn't really feel right. But I want to just start off by saying, obviously, for everybody who's affected by coronavirus, we're thinking of you. Stay strong. It's just mad. It's like, it just feels like we're in a movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, like I've seen videos. A couple of people who I know have legit had it, and
Really?
one of them like documented their symptoms on Instagram. A young girl, like maybe 30s, and it was brutal, man. Like honestly, like she was like struggling to breathe and everything. Like it was rough, man.
She
was just
right?
like a healthy person. Yeah, she's all right now. She's off the back end of it, but you can see how it can be like badly making people really badly ill, because she was killing people quite badly, because she's young and fit and she was struggling bad. So
yeah, it's not a joke, man. It's not a joke. No. Like, you know what I mean? I know I've been barbecuing every day, but you know, it's not a joke. Like.
Yeah.
What kills the germs? Surely it's got to kill the germs.
Yeah, man. Boris though. What about Boris? Like crazy.
Man, he's out there shaking hands like anything, mate. He's bound to get it, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he was just foreshadowing what was about to happen. Oh yeah, I went to the hospital, shook every hand of every guy every girl that had corona.
Gosh, you did.
Probably not the shout, Boris, but it's all good. We know what you're trying to do.
Can we take a second to appreciate Ross's underwear workout video from earlier? Have you seen this yet?
I haven't watched it yet. No, I've seen a few videos pop up. What was that all about?
Well, what did I do? In the hunt for constant content, I did remember Maisie used to teach at Pure. She's doing online yoga videos.
Oh yeah, cool. Shout out, Miz.
So I thought I'd join in, but the sun was beaming through for the first time in about 5 months through the window, and I've started in a baggy t-shirt, straight into downward dog, can't see anything, t-shirts all over me. So I'm like, right, whipped it off, and then I thought, carry on, and then I just did it for a bit of fun, see what it looked like, and then
the internet broke.
The internet did not break.
Or was a camera? Was the camera behind you during the downward dog, or was it at the front of you?
In front.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I mean, I'm moving around a lot. I've got my little MMA pants on, my little Reebok Conor McGregor pants on.
Yeah, as you do.
And it's for the.
I enjoyed it.
The Insta challenge. We've all done the Insta challenge.
Yeah, there's too many.
MG's been on there in his what we call it, banana ramet poking out.
Yeah, there's too many. But So, we might as well get cracking because I think we've only got 40 minutes on this Zoom thing. So,
okay.
If you guys haven't been on the Fitness Burrito, not you guys, but if you haven't listened to it, just people listening out there, the hundreds of thousands of people are going to listen to this.
Millions.
The Fitness Burrito is all about just kind of helping out, getting information out there, just kind of like allowing you to hopefully practically apply it into your lifestyle, whether that's nutrition, training, or just listen to us chat shit, really, which hopefully makes you laugh. You know what I mean? Everybody's stuck at home. We're all just like, my God, we got another 11 plus weeks of this. So, you know what? It's not been that bad so far. Take this opportunity, obviously, to kind of get better and listen to things and read and all the rest. So I'm going to introduce my guests real quick. So we have a former model, former actor, Ross Forde, everybody. Ross Forde. But yeah, no, we have Guy MG. Marcus George on the episode 3 of Fitness Burrito. MG, tell the people what you're about, where you're from, what are you doing with your life?
So yeah, where am I from? I'm born and raised in Huddersfield, as it happens. But ex-rugby league player.
Throw that
many moons ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then started pretty much straight out of that into starting off as a PT. Was a really bad PT for a long time.
Nice.
Was a decent PT for probably a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
And then moved more into club management, and I've gone from in various different fitness operators, working from smaller, more sort of smaller health clubs to big national chains to larger health clubs and everything in between, working in operations and sort of multi-site management. So as well as supporting PTs, I've supported the fitness businesses of multiple managers at the same time. So little bits of every angle when it comes to this industry, I guess.
Yeah. The only guy who will be on here who's probably been my gaffer. So, soak it all in. Soak it all in.
That's it, man. A one-time deal.
Yeah. Then we've got, the famous, the legendary Roscoe Forde. Also a bit of a manager, been a PT. He's pretty much done it all, hasn't he? So Ross, tell the people what you're about. You're on episode 2, so you've got a big following so far. So
what episode?
You got a blue tick yet?
What episode are we on now yet?
We're on episode 3.
The third one.
Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm.
Getting lazy.
Yeah.
I've been me on all the time. So I've been a PT since 2006.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some sports massage, do Pilates, and I am now manager or gym manager of a small health club within an office building, family run, on the M62.
Nice.
And my current project is I've just started writing. I don't know whether to blog or go out for the book deal. I think I'll probably start it starts with blog, and then you got I think that's when you get a book deal. So mine it's just entitled "How Not to Be a PT."
Oh, okay. Is that the blog?
Who's going to play you in the film?
Probably me.
James Franco, maybe?
Maybe. How big's a hooter? Has he got a big old hooter?
No, wait. James Franco's got like a runty younger brother, right? That guy will play him, surely.
Yeah,
who's the younger brother?
I feel like there's somebody else that literally we mentioned last night that kind of looks like you as well, who's also a pretty big actor. But I'm sure you'll be fine, mate. You're a big deal.
Listen, I've got to write it, yeah. We've got 11 weeks to do nothing, which is kind of like, I'll just do it tomorrow. Has anyone got the I'll just do it tomorrow vibe?
Oh, mate, yeah. I've been meaning to clean my house for a week.
So much stuff to do. I'm like,
he's been meaning to shave that beard for a week. He's still growing.
I'll just do it tomorrow.
It's a good look, though. You're bringing that Denzel back. You know what I mean? That Denzel look.
Do my best too.
Thierry when he went to Barca.
Yeah, Thierry, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So cool. So just quick one on me. Obviously, I'm Dan. I'm the guy behind the podcast.
Hi,
I'm a coach, PT. So like I said, this podcast is all about just kind of trying to help people have a bit of a laugh. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but at the same time, want to give you some good stuff to implement into your lifestyle. So I thought today, you know what? Let's talk a bit about the ISO. Let's talk a little bit about home training and kind of anything we want, really. I think it's good to have you guys in, bit of bants, right? We should, you know what? We should get Malvin on. We should get Mr. Kamara on.
Do you want to lose every follower that you've got?
I think we'd blow up.
No.
He invited me to a house party last night at 1 a.m. I woke up this morning, just saw that 1 a.m. Malvin Kamara house party. I was like, fuck, I wish I would have picked that up. Would have been a time. So I guess if we just started off, because usually we have like segments, we have categories.
Whoa. Get back, rewind.
Okay.
We all know who Malvin is. Someone else needs to describe to our favourite listeners who Malvin is. You can.
I think Marcus, you're the most probably qualified to go on.
He's an indescribable human being, isn't he? He's just a freak of nature, a whirlwind of chaos. Best
pickup lines I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I mean, he's a funny guy, isn't he? He's just an ex-football player, for those who don't know, just full of banter, full of everything. A good time guy, shall we say.
Yeah, if you Google him, you'll find him.
And a goal he scored against Accrington Stanley in 2008.
Yeah. So.
And he saved my dog from drowning.
Did he?
No.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Awesome. Yeah, let's move on. But yeah, shout out Malvin Kamara. So, gentlemen, because everybody's at home, there's about 25 million Instagram live workouts happening every single minute.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought we'd just chat about, and again, like ask questions as if you were, just an average Joe. And let's just try to get the most out of each other in terms of helping people out with at-home training. So I guess if I start with you, Ross, where would you suggest people start with at-home training? Would you start with just the Instagram live videos? Would you start with the Facebook live videos? How would you structure it? Just kind of give me a bit of a summary of what you think.
I'd probably go on and just try as many as possible.
Okay.
Just try it. Go and have a look. See what you think. I don't think there's a hard and fast rule that you've got to finish anyone's workout. There's not a hard and fast rule that you've got to do a load of burpees.
Burpees.
Because that's what it comes down to at the moment. It's burpees, press ups, and air squats, isn't it? At the moment,
yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Just do something. I think yes, the home no equipment workouts are quite popular for trainers to do, but in actual fact, like where I live, I'm straight out on the roads. Like I've been for a couple of runs this week, which is horrible, by the way. But like, I'm not bumping to anyone. You can give people loads of space. Get outside, but do what feels good, really.
Okay, so I guess to summarize, just what you've just said is, I think in the beginning, just try to find something you're going to enjoy, maybe, and just try a bunch of different things, maybe find a few that you can potentially stick to. Because I think one of the biggest issues just with exercise in general, and I'll go to you in a second, MG, is just adherence. Like, it doesn't matter if you're at home, whether you're, going out for runs or if you're going to a gym, it's, how are you going to do that consistently? And that's like the biggest problem most people have. It's not the programs, it's not the exercises themselves. Half the time it's just, what do you like and what do you dislike, right? So MG, where would you start, mate, if you were to even just do it yourself, I guess, because obviously you're not a PT at the moment, but. Yeah,
I think you hit the nail on the head there in terms of adherence. And I think, when you look at things that stop that in the past of us dealing with clients, one of the key ones is time. And I think the fact that everyone's now got time. So we've all sat here even in this chat just now and spoken about how we've had jobs that we wanted to do that were put off. So I think it is a case of that level of discipline to it. But it comes from enjoyment for people who've never done it before. So I think Ross is right in what he's saying. It's finding something that's gonna get you engaged, whether it be, I mean, I've even seen as little as like 15 minutes, that people have been doing a lot of 15-minute HIIT workouts. And that, if that's a start and that's the most activity you've done in the last 4 or 5 years, and this is giving you the chance to come and do 15 minutes on an odd day, then that's a start in it. And I think you can look at building up from there. I think the key to it though is having that self-discipline, or at least just a bit of a plan in terms of, because as you say, the days will run away with you because you're not just sat doing nothing, and you can find an excuse to not do something. So
flying.
So yeah, if you can take any positive out of this situation of being isolated, I guess it's having that trigger to try some new things and in a place and in a space where no one's watching and no one's judging. You know what I mean? Just have a go and see how it goes. You know what I mean? I think that's
big time.
The hardest thing I'd say is getting started and feeling weird. But once you're into it, once you've got into that first couple of minutes and you're going, you'll be off.
And I think what we take for granted too, like, and again, I'm throwing my missus under the bus here, but like she did a few workouts this past week, and like she doesn't go to the gym. She hates it, like absolutely hates it. There's something about it she just can't stand, right? She did one of my workouts, one of my live classes I did this week, and then she decided, you know what, that was fun. I'll do another one. She can't move today. It's been 3 days. You know what I mean? And like, she can move. She's all right. But like the first couple of days after, she was just like, man, I'm so sore. Like, this sucks. Is this what exercise is going to do to me if I just keep doing it? You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, people might go in full tilt, just dive right in the deep zone. And then they're like, oh my God. Sorry, the deep end.
That's all Ross knows how to do. Just dive in that deep zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I had a shocker.
Go for it.
On Monday, Tuesday. So it was really nice weather. And I thought, round the corner from us, I don't want to name it because I don't want everybody who watches this turning up, is a park.
Go egg Ross's house. Give him the corner.
This park round the corner from us is essentially deserted. And it's got dip bars and chin-up bars. So we've gone in, like, expecting to do our one government workout that we're allowed to do per day.
Yeah.
We took the kettlebell, we took some bands, but assuming that there'd be loads of people there, not one person. I had some free samples of a big can of drink, this big caffeinated thing. So me and my missus had one each, me and Jen had one each. And we were there for 2.5 hours.
Just going for it.
It was sunny. I'm like, one more set. Like, did burpees, we did chest, we did press, we did every press up variation you can imagine, every dip, banded. She's doing burpees, like, we're sweating.
Nice.
Unbelievable. And like, all that was there was a few dog walkers, so everybody else is kind of sticking to the quarantine thing, and a few dog walkers, a bit of casual gay dogging going on here and there.
Oh, you know.
A few single lads just walking
around. What else are you going to do all this free
checking the phone?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, all right. If you're going to start, then you're going to just, doesn't matter, start somewhere, right? Okay. Now, for those of us maybe that are into fitness a little bit more, they've been going to the gym, the ones that maybe never really had structure, they were winging it, whether it's at home, whether it was, you know, when they had a PT, like an odd session here and there. How would you go about, and I'll throw this to MG here, so, and then we'll pass it on to Ross. How would you go about just trying to progress in general? So like, even if we just looked at like a push-up or an air squat, as the UK loves to call them.
What do you call them?
It's just a squat. I don't get the whole air squat thing. It makes no fucking sense. Anyway, so what's that?
Because you're not really using any resistance.
No, I get it, but just weird. Anyways, so if you were going to progress, so the first kind of layer of that pyramid, that foundation block, is adherence, right? Now, the next thing we're going to kind of focus on, well, I guess what I want you guys to dive into is potentially intensity, volume, frequency, and just to kind of give people some context. Volume is like how many sets, how many reps you're doing that week. Intensity is how hard you're working during those sets, during those reps. Frequency being how many times a week you're going to work out. So what would you suggest somebody tries to do? And anybody can pick this up. We can just bounce ideas off each other. But Marcus, you can start off. What would you kind of suggest somebody does if they're just starting off? They want a bit of structure.
I think probably the key thing to focus on out of those that you mentioned there, for me, for somebody that you said, like you say, who's been training for a little while, would probably be the intensity side of it in terms of how they go about monitoring that.
Cool.
Like you say, if somebody's been using the gym a while and has got, you know, the kind of experience to know for themselves how to up intensity, I guess it's how they would track that and how they would keep challenging themselves. I think, as an example, heart rate monitors, things like that, or Fitbits, you know, any wearables.
Yeah.
Can they set some goals with regards to that in terms of their?
It's a good shout. In
terms of their workouts, sustaining sort of things. I know, for example, I've been doing like Ross. I've been going for a lot of runs here and there, which is it's completely against my nature, to be fair. Yeah. 200 meters is about as far as I like to run. but I've been like doing a final sprint at the end of it, but I've been starting it earlier every time. So I've been just starting it a little bit like the lamppost further away from my house every time.
Yeah.
And just little things like that. I'm just trying to just keep the challenge going, because the danger of it, with it being the same four walls and this and potentially the same structure of workouts, is that the boredom could start to kick in, which then means that people are not sticking to it as much. So if you can just continue just to mix things up a little bit, challenge yourself a little bit more, and be willing to have a go at that, I think that's probably the next stage up of the pyramid that you spoke about.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a good show. And I think, again, we're not going to dive into like crazy amount of detail. Try to keep things simple today, but training in general is all about, you're trying to essentially stress the body so that the body is almost going to adapt, what not is, maybe not directly after that session, but it might do slightly. And then over time, you're just constantly stressing the body. You're trying to basically take it out of a balance, right? So I'm going to throw a big word out here, homeostasis, which is basically just your body's trying to stay into balance all the time. So when you're stressing it over time, you're training, you're going a little bit harder, you're running that extra lamp post, like Marcus said, that's going to lead to better adaptations, more progress, better results, more fitness, etc. Cool. Sweet one. Ross, anything to add on volume, frequency, intensity, any of that stuff?
Yeah. Not really. I like that. I mean, pick up Marcus's point on running and hating it.
Yeah.
I think it's good to get into that, because I went for a run with Jenny the other day, and she does half marathons. She loves it. Like, our house is surrounded with medals and events that she's done.
Yeah,
so I'm chasing her basically.
Yeah.
And my body just wants to stop. My 40-year-old joints are just going, nah, throw this in. But it's kind of about the head talk and the resilience inside just to keep going, because your body's just saying stop, 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 and you've just got to put that mind over body. And I think that crosses over the resilience factor of, listen, you can keep going, you can keep doing this, you're not in pain, or you are in pain, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah.
And the more you can fight that resilience just to keep going, the crossover from exercise into the psychological factors of, we're all sat in our houses, we haven't been out, we haven't had a proper coffee for God knows how long. We're keeping it strong.
Yeah. And I think another thing to talk about intensity, and we'll probably talk about the other ones because it's kind of the main things I want to just chat about, really, because that's probably the bulk of training for most people right now. But we probably have used RPE before, right? And a lot of people might not know what that is. So RPE just stands for rate of perceived exertion. So it's what you perceive as being difficult from 1 to 10. So 10 is essentially failure. So if I said I'm about to do some air squats today, and I've done 50 and I can still do another 50, well, obviously I haven't reached failure. So I can still keep going until I hit that 10 out of 10. So that 10 out of 10 is physically I can't do anymore. 1 is I'm in bed chilling watching Netflix, right? So I think a really important thing for most people to do is just try to get their heads around how difficult something is on that scale. Because what's been shown is that beginners, especially, they have a very, very tough time to accurately estimate where they are on that scale. And you guys have probably seen this with clients before, when you make them do, let's say, like a dumbbell front squat, and they do 10 and they're like, oh my God, this sucks. Like, I need to stop. When they probably could have done another 20. But when you asked them at 1 out of 10, how difficult that was, they go, oh, that's a 9. But you're like, you had another 20 reps left in the tank. So it can't be. And I think if you're a beginner, even if you're intermediate lifter and you're working at home, just a quick little tip would be get maybe like a family member, a friend, or, well, not a friend because you're social distancing, but get like a family member to just videotape you, or just videotape yourself, and just kind of look at that video and go, okay, how easy does this look? Because in your intensity, in terms of your training, you should be between a 7 to 10 with most of your workouts, like in terms of your sets and your reps. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
And I would probably say that most people underestimate, or maybe overestimate, I should say, how difficult the things are. So videotape yourself, try to watch it, and just try to think how many reps left do I have in the tank, which kind of then equates to RIR, which is called reps in reserve. So as an example, if Marcus does 10 squats and he goes 1 out of 10, that was an 8. Technically what Marcus is saying, he only has 2 reps left in the tank. So as a coach, if I was to watch your video and I go, well, it looks to me like you got another 50, you're clearly lying. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but you just need to get a little bit better, because if most people are training right now and they're only working between a 1 to 5 rather than a 5 to 10, they're probably not going to get any results because their body's not being stressed enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. Very well put, Daniel.
No problem. So that's probably one of the bigger ones. Like Marcus said, intensity is probably something you need to focus on. And again, I don't know, I'm taking a bit of time here, but in terms of like what research shows is, if you're a beginner, you can be between, an RPE 5, which is kind of like not that difficult really, and an RPE 10, and you'll actually probably get some decent results if you're a beginner. As you get more experience, you need to be in those higher rep ranges, or RPE ranges, I should say. So that's intensity in a nutshell. Now, if we just talk about volume, because I think this is where, in my opinion, a lot of people need just a bit of education on, because they're not in a gym right now. So they all think that they can't get bigger, right? Especially from like a muscle building perspective. So Ross, I'm going to throw this at you.
Here we go. Feel like I'm in an exam.
It's cool. And by the way, these guys don't know any of these topics. I'm just absolutely just throwing them under the bus, which is cool. So when we talk about volume, Ross, what would you say, or kind of in your opinion, what would you work on? How many sets would you try to hit a week per muscle group, per movement, just stuff like
that? I think when we're talking about isolation, it's difficult because everyone's hitting press-ups, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I'm worried about posture. I'm worried about people getting them rounded shoulders, them hunched, them real tight chested. So let's just go careful on the press-ups. From that point of view, I mean, the context is difficult, isn't it? Because I'm speaking to 100 people here potentially, who are all at different stages along the journey. So what we're saying on press-ups, how many press-ups do you need to do to get fit?
Yeah, just take press-ups as an example. If you were to structure a week, what would that look like?
Again, the context comes down to anyone. If someone's trying to develop the chest, let's say they did, obviously they need to do more build up. They need to be in that rep range between sort of 15 to 12. So the press ups need to be hard. You can't just bang 50 press ups out.
Yeah.
You will get some development. You will get some hypertrophy in there. But again, your press ups need to be tested. So you either need some weight on your shoulders, or you need your feet elevated, or you need to be working slowly.
Really tempo.
Yeah, really getting that tempo, holding at the bottom, holding in that elongated position. That's where you're going to get some benefits. But I don't want to shout out any rep ranges or figures really, because again, it's
so subjective, isn't it, Ross? I think it's hard, mate. Yeah. In what you say, I think you're right in what you're saying there, but it is hard because, like you say, everyone's starting and then ending at different points, and so to put a specific number on it wouldn't be correct right now because everybody's going to work it from a different level. So
yeah, leave that up to me. Leave that up to me because I've obviously
volume's a difficult one because obviously it would all depend on ability, on technique, on everything. So it's probably one of the bigger challenges of working from home and training from home is the fact that you can't necessarily manage that more. Yeah, the more sort of finer details of the movements.
Yeah. So I think when it comes to, because I'm reading a really good book of Eric Helms's right now, and I don't know if you guys know who Eric Helms is, but he's basically just like the OG. He's got like a PhD and like 2 masters. He's just mad knowledgeable. But anyways, his book is Strength Pyramid. He's got Nutrition Pyramid book as well. So I'm just reading through that right now. So yeah, check that one out. Obviously, that's still a bit of a plug for him. Probably won't make any money from this podcast, but whatever.
What we like for time?
Yeah, we're okay. I think about 20 minutes down on my watch. It says running out of time. We've removed your 40-minute time limit on your group meeting. Cheers. Love it. Keep it up.
Love it.
Thanks.
I had a question for you guys actually.
Yeah.
Just based off the back of at-home training and like you said, the amount of volume that's out there in terms of the training, in terms of online training and at-home training, and what do you think that this kind of isolation period is doing to at-home PT as a business and as an industry? And when we move off the back end of this, like once this is all over, what do you feel like this time now has kind of done for the industry, positive or negative, when it comes to the fitness industry as a whole, but then also, I guess, online PT as a kind of bit of a subsection of that.
I think, sorry, Ross, you can go for it if you want.
I think the way people work and what people needs are is so varying. I think obviously in any time of, I want to say weirdness or disruption, discoveries are always going to come out of the back of it. Think about wars inventing radars and technology and tanks and stuff like that under times of pressure. So I think PTs are obviously trying to think.
Yeah.
I think and come out with different solutions. As always, all the information is always out there. Anything you want to know, you can type it into that little search bar on your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, and it's there for you. It's about that motivation. And I think people's motivation is going to change because they're actually going to realize how much important movement is.
Yeah, 100%.
For psychological, for health, for just general benefits. And I think people will actually start realizing, and this will push people closer to gyms, actually the fact that they didn't find movement vital until it was taken away from them.
Yeah.
Now it'll get more and more important for people.
Yeah. And I think you've hit some really good points there, Ross. And I mean, look, you guys know, but like my job right now is basically to help PTs, to help them build businesses. And in the last week, I've had, 25 calls with PTs, just trying to help them transition. So I think the pros, if we look at the pros from just like from an average Joe's perspective, or even just somebody who's at home who's not a PT, right? I think the pros for them is that PT's services are going to be a hell of a lot better than they ever were, because they're having to basically look at themselves and go, Jesus Christ, I actually wasn't that good before. Like I had nothing implemented to my business. And now all these PTs are having to go online, which means they have to have better software, better systems, better organizational skills. Like all these things are going to massively transition into probably what's going to be like the new PT come post-corona. So I think from a client's perspective, like you're probably going to see better quality PTs. You can probably expect a better service. And like Ross said, you're probably going to actually appreciate health and wellness a hell of a lot more now. And I would actually probably I'm just expecting there to be a bit of a boom after this. Like Ross said, people are just going to be like, I need to stay fit, because the reality is those that are getting affected the most right now are the ones that are unfit, that are obese, that have underlying health conditions, unfortunately. And obviously like we're thinking about them, but so I think that's what will happen for the client. I think for the PTs, pros, like I said, you're going to be a better PT. I think cons, a lot of PTs aren't going to make it. And like, I hate to say it, but so many PTs that I've spoken to, and some of them don't really know what to do yet. And obviously that's why I'm trying to help them. Some of them have a really, really good foundation, a good platform, and they're killing it. If anything, they're making more money, which is mad because people are losing jobs. What do you think, Marcus?
I don't know. I think you're right. I think exercise, I've never heard exercise being spoken about in the media as much as it is in terms of a public well-being activity. I've not heard of fitness being spoken about in the context that it is now, in terms of it's like it can literally be a lifesaver. And I think that's the first time that the industry has had that. But I think it'll be like January all over again when this is all over. I genuinely do. I think things are going to boom like crazy after this. And I think 100%. As fitness providers, the wider, bigger companies, and as well as the individual PTs, they need to be ready for that, because that's gonna happen for sure. I think the danger for me, I think with what's going on now is the potential to devalue the online PT.
Yeah, especially right now.
Product, or like you say, it'd be a catalyst for making people better. But I think at the moment, there's been so much content given away for free. When you see, which I'm all for. I think that at times like this, we want to be helping people more, and the more people that can get help, the better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you think of how much content's being given away for free, it's like, how do you go about then trying to charge for that again in the future when everything's done? If all you're doing is the same as what you've done.
It's a good point.
I mean, I've even seen like Sean T, like the Insanity guy, and everyone like giving away all of his workouts for free.
Yeah.
You've got even people of that level and of that sort of scope are giving their workouts away. So how does the common you know, been a PT less than 12 months, how do they go about adding enough value to then justify charging people once this is all over? That's my only worry about it.
And the crazy thing is, the ones that have been in the game for less than a year, they're probably not getting any help from the government based on what came out, right? It's the ones that, and again, it's going to teach people to actually fucking run their business the right way. And I know that's direct, but like, think about how many PTs we know that don't do their taxes properly.
No, mate. Right? And they're the ones that's it. I was one of those back in the day, man. Like that, you know what I mean? It's, but that screwed you over now. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. Now you're like, that's a tough pill to swallow. That now you got to go, all right, you know, wake up call. I got to do my taxes. Yeah. So no, it's a good question though.
Buried all the money. I also think the NHS is obviously out there. Frontline workers out there are superheroes, which they absolutely are. But again, fitness professionals, and I made a point similar to this after the last election, that this country, the NHS, spends billions per year, billions, I'll say it again, per year on fighting type 2 diabetes and treating type 2 diabetes in terms of time, in terms of hospital space, in terms of drugs that are obviously all subsidised massively over here. Like, it's PT's job to get in there and help people and say, listen, you need to move. You need to stop eating shit because you're making yourself poorly. And this obesity epidemic underneath is cost the government billions and all us as a community billions. So we need to get out there and work harder to help those people to save some money for the old doctors and nurses. So when there is an emergency like this, and let's not kid ourselves, the way the globalization's going, stuff like this isn't going to stop happening.
No.
Stuff
hopefully,
like this
hopefully it does, mate. But yeah.
So we need to make sure that we're doing our job and we've got plenty of motivation behind us to keep people fit and healthy.
Yeah.
To be strong and keep pushing forward.
I think what you say is right, Dan. I think ultimately, once we come out the other side of this, I think as a community and as a society, I feel like we'll be better. We will work better together and we'll be more appreciative of each other. But also it will force us as fitness professionals to be better in what we do in terms of the service that we provide, the scope that we can reach. And I think that ultimately, like, out of every, there's a silver lining in every cloud. And I think this is a big, massive fucking cloud that we're going through at the moment. But the silver lining off the back of it is going to be that, you know, we're all going to be trying to help each other get better and be healthier and be more active off the back of it.
Yeah. And I think,
Go on. I'm going to make you two pull a face now. Like, Ollie Tennant made a nice point online. There you go. There's a name.
It's all right. He's doing his thing. Can't knock the hustle.
He made a good point. Clients don't pay to spend time with you. They pay for results. Take that one. How'd that make you feel?
It's true. It's to the point. It's like I said, some guys are making a lot of money right now. Like, I think this is where Marcus had a good point. Like, all my stuff's free right now. Like, literally, we had our coaching community that we were charging X amount a month. We had about 12, 15 people. And, you know, now we've got over 100 people and it's all free because we just want to help people. But at the end of the day, I personally wouldn't feel comfortable charging at the moment because
that's 100% right.
Yeah. But the thing is, it'd be 100% right the other way around. Like, if people have the money and they want to pay and they want to get results because they're at home and they're bored shitless, then that's sweet too. I think it's just, you just have to look at your brand, your business, what you want to accomplish with it. Maybe look at the long term, the short term, and then, you know, action accordingly. So, you know, everybody here has risen. You guys have all kind of brought up good points. And I think it's up to PTs and obviously even to the client to just decide what they want, right?
Like, I'm working with a PT currently who is just starting to generate a bit of a presence online. Like, they've been PT in 15 years and they wanted to make a real point of this year of like driving online content. And obviously that's just been thrown massively out at the moment. Yeah. But he's continuing to charge still. Like, because he's looking, as we all should look at this, as a temporary interruption in, obviously it's a massive thing, you know what I mean? You know, in terms of the disruption it's had, but it is, you know, it's only going to be temporary. You know, and that's something that we need to bear in mind. And the fact that he's looking at the back end of it in terms of, right, if I can start small now and build a bit of a following in terms of and still charge for it, then once we get out of the back of it, I will feel more comfortable charging more, either the same or more for it off the back of it. So,
you know what though, this is like, and again, this is a hot take, but like we're taking for granted here that we'll actually get a fucking cure like in the next 6 months, or that things are going to get better the next 6 months. Like, and I hope they do, but like, it's not guaranteed, man. And that's the crazy thing. I was speaking to my roommate who's a PT, and she was saying like, you know, life as we know it obviously has changed already, but how we go about interacting in like social settings and just life in general could be completely different forever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean? There's no doubt that this has been a shift change in human interaction on it. Like in the way that, like, I'll tell you what it is. Like, I've been out for runs. I've been out. We went for a big walk around the reservoir to the little and stuff. And people walking past, and I swear to God, the most like friendly looking people were not even making eye contact with you.
Yeah.
Like they were walking past, and it was just an air of uncertainty. And I think that's going to stick around for a while. But
yeah,
it's definitely brought me closer to the people that I'm close to and that I care about. But at the same time, like you say, it's created a weird vibe out there at the moment. I think your roommate's right. I think it's going to take a little time before things even have a little sense of normality, and it may be that we never fully go back to where we were before.
I disagree.
Okay, let's go.
So I do. My point is, and I'm stealing this 100% from Tony Robbins' video that I watched last night.
Oh, here we go.
Saying, listen, where every time you get in your car, it's essentially a missile that could take anyone down, right? And you're driving through roads where all it takes is one person to be on the phone or get distracted, or the kid to put their hands over their eyes playing peekaboo, and they're into your front of your car. Boom, that's life-changing. And that can happen every day.
Yeah, but he also told people to like fucking go outside and like not wash their hands and shit, didn't he?
No, but that's not the point. The point is, like, at any point, someone could swerve across the road, someone's having a bad day, they want to try and kill themselves, and you're driving.
No, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Still, we just drive. We just keep going. Like, the odds are it'll never happen. Same with getting on an aeroplane. People get nervous, but how many aeroplanes, like, had a flight? I mean, there's no aeroplanes flying right now, but in the past, there's aeroplanes flying, landing up and down, left and right.
No, it's a fair point. Get it? Like, just don't take life for granted in general, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
You just think about it for 10 seconds and then boom, we're off again.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good tangent. That was a good question, Marcus. We went off on that one.
Sorry, man.
No, that's fine. I like it. That's what it's all about. We said we'd talk about ISO. We'll keep talking about it, won't we? So if we go back to, Peter, who's at home trying to get shredded, or Mandy, who's trying to drop a bit of weight. So we talked about adherence. We talked about intensity, and just to kind of probably just finalize the whole volume bit. So what I would recommend, and I'm going to throw numbers out because I don't care.
Go on then.
So I would recommend like Marcus and Ross talked about intensity and being within that 7 to 10 intensity RPE, right? And really making sure that you're staying true to that. The next thing you need to tick off, right? Imagine you had a little checklist. You just ticked off intensity. Perfect. Next thing you need to do is I need to do around 10 to 20 sets. We're just going to look at volume in terms of sets for today. 10 to 20 sets per muscle group or per movement a week. So let's take push-ups as an example. If I do 4 sets of 10 Monday, 4 sets of 10 Wednesday, 4 sets of 10 Friday, that's 12. I can tick that box. Now, obviously, to your guys' point, how long you've been training, your genetics, your sleep, your hydration levels, your stress, all these things play a massive part into it, right? Hey, Ross. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you don't know what we're doing, but we're just vibing. So that's the next box you need to tick. And I think this is where a lot of people right now, and a lot of PTs especially, like I keep hearing them going, oh man, like my clients want to get bigger and there's no way in hell it's going to happen. Like, what do you mean? The principles are still the same. Like Ross talked about tempo earlier. Like if somebody can pump out 35 press ups or 40, 50, can they do that with one arm? Doubt it, right? Make them do a one arm push up. They could probably only get 6. If they can get 6, they're going to get stronger. And eventually, what's that? I don't even know if I can get 6. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with squats.
I know I can't get 6.
Yeah. So, but again, if you can get 3, right, and you do 4 sets of 3, and then you maybe do another 4 sets of 3 in terms of strength work, well, then next week, you're probably going to be able to get a little bit more, and then a little bit more. But that's kind of like the volume tick box. Okay. Once you've done that, you look at the exercises or look at the body parts you're trying to improve. I think the hardest one to do at home is your back. Like, unless you have a pull-up bar or something, or like a bunch of bands and dumbbells, like body weight, what are you going to do for your back? It's just tough, right? Like you can't do Pilates swimmers and Supermans forever. So that's what I would recommend you do. And then from a frequency perspective, which we kind of haven't really talked about, but just try to have at least 2 days a week where you train. It's shown that you're going to get better results splitting one session across two. And then like you guys have said, if you're more experienced, then you're probably just going to have to add more. But I think the big thing people get wrong, and even just if you're in the gym and you're a bodybuilder or you're trying to improve your physique, is people think that volume, right? If you just keep increasing volume, that your results always follow, when it's actually, it's not accurate. Like at a certain point, too much isn't good for you, right? And again, like studies show it. So you can go have a look at that. And if you want to ping me a message, I can send you the right way. So that's what I'd recommend. So intensity, making sure you're about, between 5 and 10 RPE, if not a little bit higher if you're more experienced, 10 to 20 sets or movements per muscle group. And then just try to structure your week accordingly, because you got so much time. That make sense?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah. They're like, shut up, Dan. Shut up. Cool. So besides that, then let's just talk about the variables that you could kind of manipulate. So, who wants to tackle tempo? Go for tempo. Somebody, let's go.
I'll pick tempo. So obviously, like in the example of press ups, and you're trying to get better, you want to hold it at the bottom for longer. Your body's working. It finds it harder at those end ranges. It's going to be difficult to change resistance if you have got some dumbbells or some bands. So what you can do quite easily is just work slower.
Yeah. So as an example, it could be what, Ross? Like, give me a tempo example. If I'm doing a push up, if I'm used to just doing like super fast push ups, what would I count going up, going down?
I'd maybe go for a count of 3 going down, a count of 2 at the bottom, and then power out for a 1.
Cool.
But
perfect.
You're just building those up. I'm quite conscious, having done a couple of biomechanic and posture modules at university. I've been at university, by the way.
Just throw that
it's
in
important for me. I'm a mature student. I have to get it in there. What am I saying to you?
Biomechanics, you said.
Yeah, press ups. We need to be careful. We need to make sure that you're getting some kind of retraction, whether that's external rotation with some bands or some rowing. Yeah, we've got to get those back muscles working.
Take your shirt off again.
Come on. Give the people something to be excited about. So, and again, if you were to take tempo, and I'll throw rest time at you, Marcus, because you can get that one. Tempo, obviously, let's say week 1, you're doing 3 seconds down, 2 seconds hold at the bottom, and then you're pushing up for 1 second. Week 2, what would week 2 look like? If we wanted to make it harder just on tempo, Ross, what would you do?
On tempo.
So like you've just done 3, 2, 1 on week 1. What are you going to do week 2 to make it harder?
3, 3, 2.
There you go. So it's that simple. You just need to add a second, don't you? Basically. So that's how you can chuck around
quick
tempo.
Quick maths.
Yeah, exactly. Just to make life easier. Now, the other thing you could do is mess around with rest time. So Marcus, just chat to us quick about rest times.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously to increase the intensity of a workout, you give yourself less time in between the sets that you complete. So obviously it gives your muscles less time to recover, and therefore they're working under a greater strain. Mm-hmm. And so, it could be, for example, let's just throw a random thing out there. You give yourself 60 seconds rest in between your sets on session 1. Then when you repeat that session later on, you play around with the tempos of Ross has done there, but then you cut that rest time in between your next set to 45 seconds as an example.
Yeah.
Or potentially, there's 2 ways you can look at it. You can do it that way, or you can keep your rest. If you're up in the intensity, you might want to keep your rest the same and try and get the same output, complete the same number of reps.
Yeah.
Or you potentially, because obviously if you're doing a higher intensity with less rest, the chances are you're not going to be able to do as many. Yeah. Being realistic. Yeah. So don't one thing to expect if you are going to increase the intensity and decrease the rest.
Yep.
You're going to get tired quicker. So don't expect to be able to do the same thing you could do beforehand.
Yeah.
It's always, which is something that a lot of people don't necessarily take into account. People want you to, people like say, you cut your rest down, you work harder. I'm expecting the same speed. It's like, well, you're not going to get the same speed.
Yeah.
If your intensity is going up and your rest is coming down, you're naturally going to get tired quicker. So it's just one to bear in mind. You're not getting less fit. You're just working harder.
Yeah, and I think that's probably those two things that you guys just talked about. So Ross's tempo, your rest period, your rest times. That's probably the biggest thing that you're seeing with current workouts on Instagram Live and Facebook Live. Like people are just hammering you, doing burpees, doing jump squats, doing whatever, and then just saying, don't take rest, right? And then people are just like, oh my God, but I need it. Because you're not at that level yet. And don't worry, you'll get there. And I always tell people, if I can run, a marathon in 3 hours and Ross runs that same marathon in 45 minutes, well, he's clearly more fit, isn't he? Right? And that's going to take time to get to that point.
In a car.
Yeah. Cool. Sweet. I think the other thing we can probably just talk about quickly, and I'll just throw this out there, is
I want to talk about Netflix and Conor McGregor, but go on.
We'll talk about that next. We'll talk about that next. But so the other thing you can obviously do is just add more weight, right? You could add more reps as well. And I think this is, again, where we did a bit of a quiz last night. We did a Friday night quiz and we opened it up to like anybody who wanted to do it on social media and our group and everything, right? And one of the questions was, what's the best rep range to build muscle, and explain why? So justify why. And I think this is where, again, a lot of people would probably say, and again, like, I'm not going to ask you guys, just in case I set you up here for a different answer to what I would say.
Frauds.
Yeah. But obviously most people would say 6 to 12, right? That's kind of what we would all say, 6 to 12, 6 to 12, 6 to 12. So I think what we need to realize is you could do 1 to 5 reps, which is actually associated more so with strength and obviously lifting heavy shit, right? But the thing is, when we talk about volume, and we were talking about just sets earlier, like if you do 20 sets of, 5 deadlifts every week, like you're probably going to get stronger, obviously, but you're probably going to actually build some muscle because you're still hitting that volume criteria, right? Obviously that's going to suck because it's going to hurt your joints. It's going to be stressful on the nervous system and your body's just not going to like it. If you go the opposite extreme and you say, you know what, I'm going to do 25 to 40 reps on everything. Well, again, you're hitting the volume, but what you're not probably hitting that well is intensity, right? And what happens is most people, if I told Ross right now to do 40 press ups, because he can do 40 quite easily, those first 20 are going to be like what we would say garbage reps. Like they're not really stimulating you that much. Okay. Like they're still contributing, you're still burning calories, but when we're trying to stimulate the muscle to grow and we're trying to put strain on the muscle fibers and all the rest, you're probably flying over some people's heads right now, but don't worry about
it. You're all right.
Quarantine.
You're all right.
So when you get to those last kind of like 4 or 5 reps out of your set of 40, that's where you're really stimulating the muscle. So the reason why most people will say 6 to 12 is your golden rep range is because if you go super heavy and you do a shit ton of volume, it's going to take you a lot of time to complete those sets because you're taking 5-minute rest in between. It's going to hurt your joints and you're probably going to hurt yourself. If you go 35 to 40 reps, well, it's going to take you a bunch of reps to get there, which you probably hate doing. So that's why if you go 6 to 12, you're lifting heavy enough to stimulate the muscle, put it under tension, and recruit muscle fibers, and it's not going to take you a whole bunch of time or hurt your joints as much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 6 to 12.
Yeah, but this is why I think a lot of PTs right now are like, I can't make my clients go 6 to 12, when the reality is they don't need to. They could actually go 30, 40 reps if they want to, right? But most people don't want to because it's just too much effort, right? And again, I'm not chatting shit. Go read Eric Helm's books. He cites all this stuff, and it's all proven that you can get pretty much around the same results if you do either side with enough volume or enough intensity. So mic drop. See you later.
Fine.
Cool. So what do you want to talk about Conor McGregor? Sorry, what were you saying?
Well, all I'm saying is it looks like he's going for president of Europe. Have you seen his Instagram videos?
No.
President of Europe. Is that?
President of the world. Like, he's telling the Irish people not to go out. He's telling the politicians not to do this. He's telling them not to do that.
Thing is he like, he'll have more influence than the politicians in that country anyway.
Yeah.
So he's doing right.
He's probably punched a few already too.
Like, he's sharing his DMs from the Prime Minister. Like, the Prime Minister's thanking him for doing all this work and stuff like that.
Really?
He's talking to the people like they're going in for a fight, like they're doing sparring, like they're doing battling.
Oh yeah, I heard that. We're in the red corner. But better than that.
I'm fired up. I'm DMing him back going, Connor, I'm staying in, bro. I'm with you.
I'm staying in.
Is he getting back to you? Is he getting back to you?
Is he?
Has he sent you a bottle of whiskey yet?
I haven't tried it. Is it nice?
I don't know. I was going to say we should get a nice little bottle of whiskey next time, and
maybe they'll sponsor us.
Yeah, well, I'm working on Burrito. That's my first one.
Yeah,
that's last time Ross came for episode 2. We had a nice little feast, didn't we?
That barbecue was unbelievable. It's the best food I've ever had.
It's a big statement.
MG, have you had a barbecue at his house?
Sure, haven't, mate. I haven't had the invite yet, have I?
Oh, God. Amazing. Right. I didn't think he could top the salmon with the old maple syrup, but he did.
Oh. Yeah. Well, when all this is over, boys.
Yeah, we're going to have a rager.
Mate, imagine what the country's going to be like. Just imagine that first Saturday night when we're back in business.
I bet you they're gonna give us a week off. They're gonna give us a week off or something. Hey, they're gonna say
another week off, mate.
No, I think they're just gonna go take this week. Don't do drugs, kids, but obviously do whatever you want and just have a rager.
Like the purge.
Yeah. Here's one for you. Thank you. I meant to ask earlier. Yeah. You have a little bit of CBD every morning.
Excuse me. I don't have Corona, by the way. I just got water down the wrong pipe. I used to do the old CBD.
And how did you find yourself on that?
I'm not gonna lie. So no, I don't lie. Can't do that to the followers. Oh my God, wrong pipe again. So when I first got it, the reason I got it was because I'd done my ankle in really bad. What are you doing, bro? You all right?
I'm just checking you. I've got my suspicious eyes on you right now. I'm just like,
no mild symptoms. I'm fine. Asymptomatic. But yeah, when I did my ankle in last year, I remember because I called Marks and I was like, Marks, I can't go into work. He's like, well, I was like, I can't walk. And you're like, it's fine, mate. We'll just deduct it from your pay and all that shit.
Took it for myself.
Yeah. And I remember I got it and I was like, I wonder if this will help. And I'm not gonna lie, my foot was like this big. So anybody who's listening to this, I'm basically just representing how big my foot was, which was fucking massive. And within 2 days, it was like no swelling anymore. And I was sleeping really, really well. So I bet you half of it's placebo. Some of it probably doesn't work, but I tend to dream a hell of a lot more. It's more vivid when I do take CBD. Do you take it? Have you guys taken it?
No, my missus takes it. No, I haven't. Like, I'm not saying I'm crawling up the walls and I'm not getting edgy, but I don't know. I'm looking at that bottle and it's looking a hell of a lot nicer every morning.
I mean, you're not gonna get high off it, like.
Yeah, I know, but it takes the edge off this boredom, and you've got experience of it. I'm just trying to get a little.
I do find it mellows you out, though. It makes you like less anxious and stuff. Like, again, might be placebo, but I'm interested to see if they'll come out with research and stuff because everybody in Canada is using it now, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have any psychoactive effect, does it? So it's like it doesn't have any. It comes from, obviously, we know what the C stands for, but it's not Corona. But there isn't any sort of psychoactive element to it, is there? So I think I don't know this, man. I'm speaking completely with no research.
Yeah, I was just about to say we have no expertise in this category.
But I don't know that it like mellows you out or sort of naturally has the ability to do that. I don't know, because I didn't think it had any psychoactive.
No, it just chills you out. Properties. I think for me, anyways. Ross, just do me a favor. Once this podcast over, just chug the whole bottle and just let us know what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Do it before the next podcast.
I'll down for anything. If it knocks me out, I've got like 11 weeks to recover till I've got to go back to
work. Yeah, that's fair. All right. So to be fair, we've covered most of the topics. Just to finish off, I guess, again, we're not nutritionists, so just throwing that disclaimer out. Let's just give a few key little points of what you guys are focusing on from a food perspective. Just like, what are you doing? What's working?
Whoa. You put that recipe up for that hash stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I did that. It was nice.
It was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, Laura was like, oh, it's not even that good. I was like, yeah, it is. Like, fuck off. So basically, guys, for all of you guys wondering what hash is, it's just what I call it. You just chuck a bunch of potatoes in a pan, roast them for 30 minutes. While they're roasting, just cut up any veg, bacon, sausages, whatever you want. Put it all into a nice little, bowl. salt bay that shit, and then just, mix some nice little herbs and spices. And then when you take it out, chuck it in, mix it all up together. Nice little 15 minutes. Boom. See you later. You're out. You got your hash. That's it.
When does the maple syrup go on it?
It doesn't, mate. Come on.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? Like, I've only got one can left, bro. Like, that's rationed right now. Mate. I take a shot of it every morning, and that's about it.
Take a shot of that, mate.
Yeah. So MG, just tell the people what you're focusing on when it comes to food right now, because obviously you've got a little girl. By the way, she can count to 10 already, eh?
Yeah, 16 months old, she counts to 10, man.
Is that rare?
That's not normal, mate. That's not normal, mate. Like, I know of kids that are a month older than her that can't talk. she, I swear to God, and there's nothing wrong with the kids, by the way. Like, that's just like they all develop at a different age. No, I'm not saying the other kids are spaz, but like,
yeah.
No. Like, kids all develop at different rates, obviously. But yeah, she's 16 months. I know of a kid through a family friend who's 17 months and he doesn't talk, he can't talk, and she counts to 10.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's showing you the power of multiple languages, in my opinion.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's all in English, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Because like she learned Spanish and everything too. So I bet her brain's just like overstimulated, I think.
Yeah, she takes in everything, man. She tells us when she's hungry. She'll go, like, she'll just ask for food. Everything.
That's cool.
She's working on the alphabet now, mate. I'm gonna have that cracked by next week. Quarantine dream.
She's gonna be on Ellen next week.
In it, man. But yeah, in terms of food, I guess we're quite lucky, man. Is the fact that we've been using a food delivery service for about 4 months anyway. So we're picking our meals and looking to getting them delivered. So, but we're trying to keep it as clean as possible, and we do this anyway. Like, we focus on lean meat, so we'll try and get lean meats and a lot of fish.
Yeah.
We pick 4 meals a week basically, and the ingredients all get delivered, and they give you the recipe card. You just chuck it all together. But we try and have at least one fish, at least one lean meat like chicken or turkey, and then at least one like veggie one. But other than that, what we're just focusing on is like just wholesome stuff, man. When you think about like health, is obviously so important. There's loads of veg, loads of protein. We're trying to like slow cook a load of stuff so that we've got big batches that we can keep going back to.
Nice.
And we are both staying active at the same time, because I think it's difficult. Obviously, you've got to look after your energy balance and things like that. And we're conscious that we're not moving around as much as we would be ordinarily. So trying to lower the amount of sort of starchy carbs and stuff that we're having. Although the missus just made some chocolate chip muffins yesterday, which are
got a balance though. It's all
banging.
It's all about the balance.
So yeah, it is about balance, man. It is that, like, training and moving around a little bit more. If you've never been active before, you will be burning off more than you were burning off previously. So you can afford to be a little bit more relaxed with your calories. But like for us who've been training more regularly and are now not moving around as much, and we have active jobs, we are trying to be a little bit more careful in terms of the more starchy carbs and the more sugary stuff, because it can catch up on you quick when you sat at home for 3 months,
100%. Nice, man. I think there's some good practical, nuggets in that. What about you, Ross? What are you focusing on at home?
I suppose I'm not having breakfast. We're down at 2 meals a day. I think 2 reasonable meals. First meal's kind of a lot of protein, usually eggs, proteins and fats.
So are you fasting basically?
I'd say intermittently. But I don't like try and get a bit of work done and get some writing done and emails and this, that, and the other sorted out before I start having food. Just on a black coffee, and then after that, have a feed at lunchtime or late lunch, and then we'll have a feed. We'll have a proper tea this evening, similar to Marcus, lean meats and lots of veggies. We always have loads of veggies, loads of colour. That type of stuff. Yeah, like my missus is a teacher, so she's used to being on her feet and teaching all day. She's not doing. I mean, she's doing research and planning and plotting and stuff, but she's not doing the same amount of output.
Yeah,
myself included. I'm not running around the gym. I'm not teaching any classes. I'm certainly not doing any PT sessions. delivering them. So I think that needs to come back, and then it just leaves a little bit more room for a couple of beers and a bit of whiskey on the night, just to take the edge off the day.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? The thing is, I was supposed to be in Gran Canaria at the moment, so I was supposed to be on holiday this week. And so this week I've been treating it a little bit like I've been on holidays. I've had a little glass of wine most nights, I ain't gonna lie. And I've been
playing a bit of COD, playing a bit of 2K, and
so I am in holiday. I've been in holiday mode for this week. For about the last 3 months, I've been building up towards this week being on holiday. So this week's a little bit more relaxed than usual. But
we should get going. Actually, sorry, Marcus, but we should try to get a nice little poker night going.
How can we? Yeah. I mean, you can probably speak to. You can go arrange that when no one else is listening. But yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud. No, it's just because all my boys have set up a poker night in Canada and they've asked me to join, and I'm like, man, time difference sucks, no chance. But something off air.
I'll leave that one for you.
How do you deal a card through the computer? How do you deal a card?
No, you go through like Poker Stars or whatever. And you can create a group.
I'm at aces again. I win.
But yeah, back on the nutrition vibes. Yeah, I'm pretty much similar to you guys. I think if there's one kind of bit of advice I'd give people, if you're struggling with your diet, just the only thing I'd say for you to focus on is just focus on drinking water. And just try to prioritize protein, and just make sure that protein's with every single meal, and then the rest doesn't matter. Like if you struggle to just, I don't even know, put meals together or what to eat, what not to eat, you don't really get much fruit and veg in the meantime. Just try to get protein with every meal, eggs, lean meats, even just meat in general, fish, whatever. And then just think outside of that, just enjoy the food you eat. And then hopefully as you get a bit more educated with food, as you track your food a little bit more, you understand calories a bit more, then hopefully you'll start making better choices and your habits will start slowly getting better. But that's what I'd recommend. Cause like people, I hate when people I don't hate it. I get why, but don't just remove everything that you think is a trigger food. Like you can still eat cookies and you can still eat cake and you can still eat chocolate. You just need to be more self-aware and reflect a bit more as to why you're eating them. If you're stressed out, if you're emotional and things like that. And then you need to just probably get a bit of support for somebody to educate you on it and just give you tips and tricks. I don't know what you guys think.
I heard of a really, really sort of cool example of this, of exactly what you're saying there, from a PT that I worked with before. And they were taking on new clients and they asked them to do a 4-day food diary. So they did Forde, and the only advice that this PT gave this person, never worked with them before, I'd interacted with them a little bit in the gym floor, was just like, I just want you to try and be as good as you can. That's all he said. He didn't give you any indication. Because people know roughly what's good for you and what's bad for you. So it's against for Forde, I just want you to be as good as you can, right? So this person filled it out, and they still had sandwiches for lunch, and they had a bit of this and a bit of that, and it was fine. But it was all food that they enjoy. I want you to enjoy your food still. I want you to be as good as you can. So they've done that, and then they've given the food diary back to the PT, and the PT just gone, give it back to him and said, right, I want you to eat that again next week. Bearing in mind, he's thinking the energy balance. So he's like, right, I know what your calories are now, but your calories out are going to be better because you're training with me. So because you're training with me now and you weren't before. So that's your calories, wherever you're at, and you're sticking to that food. It's relatively good. And the training is now sorting out the calories out. And that person was getting results, seeing results. And then gradually he was just trimming away little bits of carbs here and there, or swapping the odd thing in the food, but it was all based around food that they enjoyed and food that they were sticking to. And the PT was just making tiny little alterations to that. And it's their understanding of calories. The client didn't need to know it.
Yeah, he didn't.
The client just needed to know that this is food. I'm pretty much enjoying it and I'm getting a result off the back of it. So I think you're right in what you're saying. It doesn't necessarily matter in terms of what it's made up of. It's more your understanding of it and the fact that you can stick to it.
Ross, you're right. Out the window. Hey, you contemplating something, Ross? Come on, come back, sit down.
Did you see the robot?
What?
My neighbour's got the robots are taking over. There's a robot going around my neighbour's garden.
Oh, is it cutting the lawn?
Oh, it started, hasn't it?
Can you see it? Right, like bang in the middle, like a little black thing.
No, I can't.
Just really about. Yeah, it's a bit. Oh, yeah, I can just about see it now.
What's it doing? So for those of you listening, we're watching Ross trying to show us a robot in his neighbor's back garden. And what's it doing, Ross? Can you just explain?
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know if it's a lawnmower scooting around the grass. I don't know.
Oh, the aliens are coming. It's happening.
Could be anything. The world's taking over.
Well, I think, to be fair, guys, unless there's anything else you want to cover,
I want to talk about Tiger King.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh man, I'm watching it.
Oh, you haven't watched
I'm watching it.
No, I think I recommended it to you, and I haven't watched it yet.
Oh man,
I just said, go on.
No, I was gonna say, Mark, I don't want to, get any spoil. I'm only on like episode 2 or 3, but Ross, how fucking weird's Buddy though? Like the main guy.
Wait, yeah, and the thing I like about him most is he's covered in Marcus George tribute tattoos. They love a tribal tattoo out there. They love a tribal tattoo out there.
Yeah, you gotta watch it, MG. You gotta watch it. It's crazy, man. But like, yeah, Shaq's got like 2 tigers, eh? Like fucking everybody's got a tiger in the US.
It's mad, isn't it? They say there's more tigers. Is there more
tigers
in the
tiger.
US?
What, Shaq?
Yeah,
no,
Shaq is everyone.
Everyone's got a tiger in America. Shaq, Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, did you see?
Joe Exotic.
Did you watch? I think episode 2 or 3, they start chatting about Buddy, who was like supposed to be in jail for 100 years, and he got out in 12. You see that one? You on that episode yet, Ross?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. All right. So look, we'll finish her off there. MG, tell us where we can find you. What you got going on in your life? Basically, using the Hot Wings outro.
Not much at the moment since we're since we're all locked down. But yeah, Instagram is Marcus__George. I think it's the same for Twitter.
Are you on Twitter? Are you active on Twitter these days?
I'm not active on it, but I need to get better on it because
big tweet.
Your boy's got.
I keep thinking Twitter's dead. I keep thinking Twitter's dead.
Your boy's got 1,800 followers on there, and I don't do anything.
They're all fountain offshoots.
Yeah, from like back in the day. Yeah, so yeah, Marcus__George on Insta and Twitter.
And yeah, that's me. Recently had a big life event, so congrats on that. And
yeah, man. Got married a month ago today. Yeah.
Was it a month ago today?
Yeah, man.
Already?
1 month ago. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy. And then obviously, enjoy your week away at home. And
yeah, man. Next 11, 1 down, 11 to go. Let's do it, boys.
Yeah. Ross, tell us where we can find you. Socials.
I'm getting into TikTok.
Oh my God! I cannot wait to see this. Mate, that is the best part of this whole podcast for me is Ross Forde on TikTok.
I find it complicated. I downloaded it too, man. I'm probably gonna have to try to use it too, but
Chinese are just stealing all your data, man.
You'll get it. You'll get it. TikTok, Ross Forde. Boom.
That's it. That's all. The only place you can find you. What about Insta?
I think Ross Forde Fit26, and I run all the work accounts, which is just Fit26. It's black, it's white writing, yellow number. Perfect.
So yeah, I'll put the your guys' details in the show notes. Obviously, obviously I'm DQ at Abante Performance, so you can find me on Facebook, Insta. This podcast, obviously, the Fitness Burrito. So yeah, probably gonna get some more going in the next couple of weeks because might as well, right?
Oh, we ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, we ain't going nowhere. So I think I'm going to try to get some. I know Ross recommended a few. Marcus, you recommend people if you think might get Malvin on because be a good laugh.
We need to spice it up.
But yeah, no. Cheers, fellas. Appreciate you guys coming on. It was a pleasure. And
I had fun, man. Thank you.
Yeah, like we said, everybody out there who's currently being affected by Corona, we're thinking of you. Stay strong.
Yeah, man.
And we'll see you guys on the other side.
Stay safe, guys. Take care.
See you in a bit.